gang, Maggie here outside the headquarters of Naughty Dog Software. Up there, the gang is hard at work on their new game, Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy. My reputation as a journalist must precede me, because I'm about to score an interview with Jak himself. Let's head on up. You may recognize Naughty Dog as the folks behind that famous Bandicoot, star of the Crash series. Now they're working hard to make stars of Jak and his buddy Daxter. I'm going to get a little FaceTime with Jak and discuss his rise to fame. I can't seem to find the receptionist, but Jak's gotta be around here somewhere. Excuse me, I'm here to see Jak. He's expecting me?
Jak who?
Jak. From Jak and Daxter?
Yeah, you might want to try the conference room down the hall.
Have you guys seen Jak? I had a couple quick questions for him.
Jak is just a CG character, but I can tell you anything you want to know.
He's a poly, not a CG character. What's up with you fleshies anyway? Always trying to claim credit for our hard work.
Right. Jak's just a little busy right now. But there's some folks in the studio who might be able to answer your questions.
Well, after wandering around the set for a while, I tracked down a few members of the Naughty Dog team who were quite helpful. They told me a little bit about the adventures of Jak and Daxter.
Jak and Daxter is about a couple of friends. They have a tendency to get into a lot of trouble together, and there's one particular time at the start of the game where the two of them are exploring a forbidden place called Misty Island.
As Jak and Daxter are exploring Misty Island, they come upon a little vial, a vial of something they don't know what it is. Daxter throws it to Jak. Jak catches it, and as he catches it, it starts glowing. This is part of the magical force Jak has.
Daxter accidentally got transformed into this kind of rodent form, something he's not very happy about. The two of you are kind of poking around the world, trying to figure out what they can do to change Daxter back into a human.
The adventure begins with Jak and Daxter running back to the sage, who's a mentor of theirs in the village that they grew up in, and saying, "What can we do?" And he says, "Well, there's only one person I know of that might even be able to help you. He lives far to the north, and you're going to have to go find him."
Wow, this eco sounds like some powerful stuff. What the heck is it? And where did it come from?
Eco is an energy force that runs through the planet. There are many different varieties. There's blue eco, and green eco, and yellow eco, and red eco. And each one of these different kinds of eco give you different kinds of powers to the game, and you have to learn how to use the eco to your advantage.
We have dark eco, which acts as a catalyst for all the other ecos. Like blue eco, by itself, you might have some sparks, you'd have static electricity rubbing your feet on the floor or whatever, right? You mix some dark eco in there and you've got a thunderstorm, millions of volts and just incredible power.
So, Jak and Daxter leave their village and set off to find an antidote to turn Daxter back into his human form.
I'm actually in Sandover Village, which is where you start the game. There's a bunch of huts behind me, as you can see. Those huts are the dwelling place of a lot of the villagers that you'll meet when you first start the game. And all of these villagers generally have something that they want you to do for them, and you can do these quests and tasks and get a power cell in exchange. One particular example is the sculptor in Sandover Village has lost his muse. She's run away to Misty Island. She's a little furry creature. And so when you get to Misty Island, you'll see the muse running around. So if you catch the muse and bring it back to the sculptor will give you a power cell.
Oh, my muse! You saved her! Oh, you really are the best. Here, take this power cell. I won't need it now that I have my inspiration back.
Well, that sounds simple enough. What else are those two going to be doing?
There's a tremendous number of different tasks in the game. Some are incredibly simple, like just find a little hidden place and collect a reward. Others are woven across a number of different levels. A specific example of these tasks would be in the first village. The mayor is complaining that the village has no power anymore because the eco power beam from the jungle is broken. And so you have to go into the jungle and discover that the evil lurkers have diverted the power beam into their machine, and then you have to realign the beam towers all across the jungle to connect it back to the village.
Jak and Daxter face a ton of enemies in the game, like these nasty lurkers who are constantly in their face. But be careful, they're a lot smarter than they look.
They're actually quite intelligent. So for example, in many cases, if you come to a gap in a cliff and you jump it, they'll jump it and keep chasing you.
let's face it, Jack would not stand a chance against all those lurkers without a little help from Samos Hagai, the Green Sage, and his daughter Kayla.
Well, one of my favorite characters is actually the Green Sage, Samos. Samos is sort of your classic wise man, although instead of the typical nice, kindly old man, he's this really crotchety old guy, yells at you a lot. He's always saying things like, "Why haven't you done this yet?" So it sort of adds a element of sarcastic humor to the game.
Fine. Adventure away then. And while you're out adventuring, why don't you make yourself useful?
Hey, baby. What do you say you and I go cruising on this A-Grav Zoomer?
Kira is Jack's mentor, the Sage's very cute daughter. She's not your typical kind of teenage girl. Instead, she's in there in the racer machine shop in their hut, tinkering in the garage, like building this A-Grav Zoomer device. She's like determined to really get them working.
Great! You have the 18 cells needed to power my heat shield.
The Naughty Dog team spent a ton of time working on the details of the game to get it looking as good as they can, and it shows. All of the work has really paid off, especially in the animations.
We've created kind of a unique system for blending different animations to create smooths between what would be two totally separate animations in most other games now. I'll give you an example of this. If you're running along, you may be halfway in speed between a walk and a run. Well, what our game will do is it'll take the walk animation, it'll take the run animation, and it'll evenly blend between them to create a new frame that represents where your feet would be if you're running at that speed. And if you jump, it'll blend all of those things into the jump and create a new unique frame of animation that represents exactly what you'd be at that time. And what that ends up creating is not infinite, but a humongous number of possibilities, all of which, every single frame, are created just to get the right animation to make him smoothly move in and out of every one of his frames. And that's truly unique.
Smooth moves alone mean nothing unless you've got the look to back it up, and these two definitely have the look.
The character design process for this game was very challenging for us because we actually have now the capability of creating characters that we always wanted to see on either a video game or an animated feature. And because of that, the level of detail that Jack has is about 6 times greater than what the level of detail that Crash had.
So for example, Jack himself is more polygons and is more detailed than the entire screen was in a single frame of Crash. Just Jack.
It's not only the main characters that look great, but the entire world really comes to life. The team at Naughty Dog have truly pushed the power of PlayStation 2, creating an absolutely amazing-looking world for Jak and Daxter to explore. One of the things that really sparked my interest is the particle system.
The particle system is a very handy thing. It deals with little tiny chunks of stuff that you can sort of assemble together into making a flame or a piece of smoke or maybe ripples or rain.
All of the places in the game are really cool. All I can say is, wow, this new world really shows off the power of PlayStation 2.
One of my favorite visual effects in the game is when you kind of battle your way up to the top of the tower over there, the one with the rotating disc on it. You can then look down across several levels worth of kind of coastline, and you see your village and the beach, and look on towards the end of the game, and you get this awesome sense of like space, and just very dramatic.
Each of these areas are pretty impressive in their own right, but you're going to be amazed at how big and cool this world really is.
One of the things we set out to do with Jak and Daxter is to create a giant contiguous world. What that means is once you've actually started playing the game, you'll never have to stop and wait for a load time. You'll never have to pause as you're playing to wait to go into a different area. And the camera never really cuts to say, oh, okay, you were in the forest, but now you're in a cave, so it's a totally different situation. You just walk in and out of doorways, or you walk across a bridge and you're in a new area.
I learned a ton about the game from Jason and his team at Naughty Dog, but I still didn't get to meet Jack. So I decided that instead of waiting for the game, I'd wait for him. Is Jack here yet?
Nope.
Is Jack here yet?
No.
Is Jack here yet?
No.
Is Jack here yet?
No.
Is Jack here yet?
No.